flying prick. He makes us all feel sick. His antics we do tire. He hurt me with his aura of fire. Winch hurt me with his aura of fire. He came down to the ground once his help was not required. And it burns, burns, burns. Aura of fire. Aura of fire. With bugbear foes destroyed, we hear the news of giant fights. We make our way towards the gates to try and see this sight. Will Harshnag be the victor here? And will we need to interfere? The adventure continues.
We are back to Krill. Krill's done.
Right. So I don't think my rage is going to last longer than this round, given that unless I ask somebody to punch me. So
Two people might.
My horse was left like here-ish.
Yep.
So I'll take my 10 foot to move to the horse, and then mount up. And then how far can I get if I'm dashing? I could probably get to the group.
Well, your normal movement would just be, I'd guess, the remaining distance on the horse. So whatever horse's normal riding speed would be less what you've already done. So a riding horse, which you've got, is 60 foot. So if you've done 10, you get another 50 foot would be just be your normal movement.
Yeah, so...
And then another 60 foot if you're dashing.
I mean, I could get ahead of them, but I don't know. It's really...
It's up to you whether you want to or not. Bearing in mind, Dweezil's probably going to go ahead of you by the time it gets round to him and Dabov.
Yeah, that's fine then. I mean, I can't imagine we're grouping up for anything. We're not stopping where they are. It just so happens that that's where they are.
Yeah.
So I would have made it to there.
Dabov.
Yeah, I guess I'll carry on sprinting towards the thing. 105 feet to there.
What I'd say is because there's a lot of stuff in the way, you might have to take a bit of a detour round.
All right.
Like those are big carts, so
yeah, I'll move it.
Go a bit short.
Back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Short.
Yeah. Obviously, Vin is 60 foot up in the air. It's whether you want him to fly towards you or higher up to be able to see more.
I'm trying to think if he moves. So I've moved. He gets 60 feet of movement speed, so 120 if he's dashing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I move him to wherever I am, that'd be 85 feet of his.
That's fine because he's up there, so he's not got anything in front of him yet.
So then that's what, 35 feet up as well.
Yep.
So yeah, he's now 95 feet high where I am.
Okay. Yeah.
Does he see anything?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interest? So he can now definitely see. You can. He relays back to you, or you see through his eyes. I'm not sure how that works. Is that an action to do that? Because if that's the case, then you probably wouldn't be able to do that.
I think it is an action. Let me have a look.
Okay, so you won't know anything unless you are able to communicate with him, maybe next round or something.
While you're familiar is within 100 feet, which he is if he's 95, you can communicate with it with it telepathically. But if I want to see through his eyes, it's an action, but I can communicate with him as a non-action.
Okay, all right then. Okay, so you communicate and he communicates back to you. He doesn't obviously really understand, but he says red giant, blue giant.
Cardboard box.
Nice reference. Two small giants.
Cool. I'll shout that out. I don't know if people can hear me from where I am.
I'd imagine, yeah, you're close enough if you shout that loud enough, yeah.
I'll just yell giant fight. Like a child in...
Giant fight!
Yeah, like a child
Rumble!
at school. Like, really excited.
Quinch.
Quinch whistles to see if Doss is within whistle distance and comes to his aid as a bonus action.
Yeah, it's Witcher 3, so that happens. The roach appears right by you. It's a reference to The Witcher 3, which obviously you've...
I love that. Did that happen? I can't tell.
Yeah, you just whistled for your horse no matter where you were and it would appear behind you.
Nice. So I'll hop on Doss. And do you say it was 60?
Yes.
So 120.
But obviously, be mindful of the fact that there's debris and stuff all over.
Yeah.
The stuff,
All
so
the
you have to
huts
take
and
a bit
whatnot.
of-
So 40 gets me to where Ruffle is. That's 40 east, and then we travel the path down towards Gregomel.
Another 30.
So that's for 80, and then we'll just sprint across to the bottom of the cart, which is still approximately 120 feet from the castle walls, but we're meandering through the pestilent streets of Zarnsol's Keep.
It's Ruffle's turn, but he's not going to do anything because we'll just go straight to Dweezil. So you can ask another question. Join your turns up.
Krilla's been taking the path to the north, and I've just seen ruler arrows darting down to join the rest of the group.
Yeah, I realised I did go slightly off in the wrong direction. I'm trying to work out how best to get back on track.
Dweezil.
It's obvious that you're a wanted man. What I want to know is, what on earth have you done that warrants thousands of gold pieces and attacks of this scale on a town as I frog march the dickhead 5, 10, half movement through those spaces? Yeah?
Where
Between the carts. Yeah?
No, I'll allow that for.
All right, 1, 2. Get down here near this ballista.
Okay, there we go. Well, sir, I am a confidence man. Unfortunately, I put my confidence in the wrong woman. And that's how you will end that one. Gregomel.
Gregomel's just going to continue flying off towards the gate. Actually, he's going to try and fly up onto the wall where the arrowists are.
Lovely.
I'm not sure if I can make it all the way. Let's just have
Probably
a little...
not. I mean, they are 40, and it's 40 foot up as well, and you're only sort of a few foot off the ground, if nothing. So.
All right. Well, let's fly into the main castle area as you enter the gates. Then.
Okie dokie. Be fun if you get there and everyone's dead. Right.
I mean, that's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah. You certainly don't want to take more damage. Right. Okie dokie. So, yes. So, anything else? That's it? You done?
That's it. I'm done.
Okay. So that's these archers at the gate. Okay. One hits and one doesn't. But that's fine, because that one that does hit is enough to kill Ogre number 1 at the bottom. Just lodges in one of his nostrils very much like other popular media would have done. The second pair of archers, again, one hits. They are absolutely dog poo-poo. That ogre is still trying to bash down the door, but he hasn't been able to do so with his partner, unlikely to do so on his own. The ballista will fire out the fire giant for 14. Again, third ballista arrow just firing wide of the mark. Fire giant will slash out at Harshnag with a natural 1 on its first attack. Second attack is no better with a 5.
I mean, that's better. It's 4.
It is better. Yeah, no, it's better, but it's no better result. However, Harshnag smashing out with his cheeky little axe. Hits on his first, hits on his second with a 28 and a 30 back to back. You guys want to get Harshnag in your fights, and he manages to just sink his axe right into the side of this fire giant, killing it.
Whoa!
Yes. So
Shame we didn't see it.
That giant down. The only thing remaining is one ogre who hears its master crying out, and it turns to flee.
They think it's all ogre.
We've got a fire giant ahead, haven't we?
Okie dokie. What I will say is we'll take you out of initiative as all battle has been done.
Cool. Dabov's going to run to the gate and yell that the frost giant's with us like don't attack it because they hate giants, don't they?
They do, yeah. They say, well, then we did see he was taking the fire giant. As long as he doesn't come in or doesn't attack us, he can stay where he is. But I will take your word that he is a friendly, but we still remained somewhat cautious, if you please.
I'm gonna speed it up to the gate and just get there.
Before anyone else is within earshot of me and Roffle, I just want to say to Roffle that he can count himself very lucky because he's currently with probably the only man on the Sword Coast who cares more about doing the right thing than he cares about massive mountains of gold. And if there's any convincing that Roffle thinks he can do, he needs to do it right now, because otherwise I'm going to find it very, very difficult to tell these guys that they cannot take you straight back to Waterdeep to collect that ransom for themselves.
Crew gets erections over gold.
Well, yes. No, I can see that. No, I can see you've been very fair. When I started to run, you could have attacked me. You could have, I don't know, you could have perhaps tried to kill me. But no, I can see that you are a reasonable man, and I like to deal with reasonable men such as you, good sir. It seems that we are out of danger, and I do apologise for running, but as you were the ones that came to me. You said that you'd heard someone was after me. I saw a lot of these nasty bugbears, and I thought I put the two together, and I came up with a 5. I do thank you for fending them off ahead of attacking me. That is, I'll be forever in your debt of that. I will gladly tell you my tale if that is what you are asking, but please do not take me back to Neverwinter. I will not go back to Neverwinter.
Correct, Neverwinter. I think I said Waterdeep.
You did, but you meant, of course, you meant Neverwinter. I
did, yeah.
My name. And he sort of puffs his chest out and sort of holds what sort of is his stable hand attire. My name is Roflcopter. At least that is one of my names. Now, I didn't think that the people of Neverwinter would come looking for dear old Roffle in places such as this, and so I did not think to use an alias. Roflcopter is a name I have used for many years. I go by a different name from time to time, and I'll get to that in a minute. On the streets of Neverwinter, I would try to part idiots from their money, if you will. I was very good at it. I like to think old Roffle was good with the old gab. He was good at sleight of hand. He was good at just doing whatever needed to be done to get a bit of gold in his pocket. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Neverwinter. I love the people of Neverwinter. Born and bred in Neverwinter. I was there before Mount Hoteno exploded and ruined that wonderful city. My poor mother, God rest her soul, she died in that. But I returned to Neverwinter when it was starting to be rebuilt, because I'm a man who wants to be rebuilt. Something beautiful about that. So I returned and tried to make a little bit of a living off the hard work of others. Trouble is, whilst I'm good at what I do, sometimes I'm not so good at picking out the right person. Usually gets me a bit of trouble. Usually I find myself behind bars. Sometimes I really pick badly. Picked a young lady, and I won some money off her, but what I didn't realise is that she was one of the concubines of the Lord Protector. He didn't take very kindly to that. And so I find myself behind bars. Done that before. Nothing new. Usually have a little bit of a few couple of days in there. Usually have a few conversations with the guys. Usually get out. Found myself behind bars I'd never seen before. No window, no light. Very dark. The guards were not very happy people. I found old Roffle found himself on the floor regularly, kicked and beaten. Pissed on some days. It was not a very nice place to be. Do you know what I did? I thought about a story. What do you know about Neverwinter?
Not a lot, truth be told. I know that it has a clement climate, considering how far north it is on the Sword Coast.
It does. A bit of sea air as well. Lovely, beautiful. As I say, it was a thriving city back in the day, but Mount Hotono, now that blew it up, destroyed the city. You used to have royalty in there. The Agalondars used to rule that city. But unfortunately, this Mount Hotono it wiped out the entire royal family. There weren't any to claim the throne. Now, the thing is, my mother used to tell me that actually we descended from the Agalondars. Some nobleman back in the day fucked some prostitute. I don't know what it was. Somebody fucked someone. And I am a bastard in many ways. And the most important way is that I technically have a bit of Agalondar blood running through my veins. So there I find myself in this cell, getting beaten, pissed on, unable to break out. And I think, do you know what I'm going to do? Roffa's he's going to do something he's never thought of. I like to keep my head down. I've never relied on this story. I've never told anyone this story. But I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell it now because it might get me out of trouble. In fact, it might get me into a place. It might get me on a throne, quite frankly. So I tell the girls, I tell you what, you are kicking Bamble Agalondar, rightful heir of the throne. And they believe me. Well, at least they take me out of the cell, take me up to the Lord Protector. I tell him the story. I say, my name, sir, is Babel Agalondar. I am the rightful heir to the throne. Now, the thing you need to know as well is this Lord Protector, one of his charges is to find the rightful heir. He's looking after the city as a bit of a custodian, if you will. He's looking after this city, hoping that one day someone will come and take the throne and lead that city. He's been very open about trying to find it. Funny thing is, though, no one has yet been found. Big old royal family, no one's been found. Very odd, that. Very odd. But anyway, there I was, stood in front of him, and I said, "Sir, I am the rightful heir. If you've caught me, you found me, give me the throne." I'm not really a man who likes to be put in front of people, but I'll do it. Do you know what? I'll do it. He listened to me, looked at me pensively, and he said, "I'll give you 1,000 gold pieces to go away." I thought to myself, 1,000 gold pieces, that's a lot of money. I could do well with that. It's probably more than I've seen this year, if not 10 years. I could do that. And I thought, do you know what? Let's see what happens here. I said, "No, listen, sir, I am the rightful heir. Let me have this. 1,000 gold pieces. You mock me, sir. You mock me." Instantly, he said 2,000 gold pieces. I said, no, you cannot buy me off. You cannot buy off Ruffle. You cannot buy off Bamble Agalondar. This is my throne, sir. And then he said 5,000 gold pieces. And I thought, what sort of a man who's looking for the rightful heir will buy off someone for 5,000 gold pieces? I thought that, no. Something fishy's here. Like I said, sometimes I make the wrong decision. And I said no to the 5,000 gold pieces. I thought I'll just stretch him one more time. 10,000 gold pieces, I will be set for life. I will walk away a very rich man. His smile dropped. He ordered his guards to take me back down to the cell. He ordered them to kill me at morning. I went down to that cell. I'd been trying to get out of it. It was quite a tough one. I couldn't find my way out. But the funny thing is, knowing I was going to die the next morning, desperation, it focuses the mind. Found a loose brick eventually. Managed to get that one out. Managed to get another one out. Eventually I loosened enough that I was able to crawl out despite my thick frame. I managed to get through. And I was able to escape. I went on the run. Never to look back to the city I love. The Neverwinter I love. But I've carved out an okay life here. I don't mind mucking up the stables. That is, all I said to you back there is true. Quite like dealing with the horses, but given all the gold pieces that I've missed out on before, I am a little bit sad. But I am not going back to Neverwinter, sir. Do not take me back there because death awaits me there. Death.
Insight, obviously, please, Nathan.
Go on then.
10.
You believe he's telling the truth?
We need to have a sidebar, I think, and discuss, because, lawfully good, 5,000 gold pieces. What way do we want to roll?
I would like money.
This has become very conflicting. No one seems to want to make it. I mean, to be fair, only Dweezil has heard this tale. The rest of you don't know any better.
Are we going to do sidebar and you relay it to us, or is this Dweezil?
Yeah, I think I'll say to Roffle, thanks for telling me your story, but I need to speak to my companions. I will say to him, I'm inclined to help you.
That is understandable. Thank you very much, sir. You did say at the start of this, you said you're an honourable man, and I put my trust in that. So please don't let old Ruffle down.
Try not to.
So have you relayed that to all of us now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you all of that.
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to make a suggestion in character to the group, and Ruffle's more than happy to. I'm more than happy for him to hear it. How about he gives us an item that could only have come from him, some proof that we've met him.
Stage his death.
Or we just go...
Like
we could do that. Or we could...
that's definitely come from him.
Say, we found Ruffle in this town that we're in, and hope they give us a little bit of the reward for some information, and we tell him, you leave this town, and we'll tell them you were here, but you're free to go. Just find somewhere else.
That's going to get us a fuck all reward.
I think perhaps faking his death.
Yeah. I think that's a bit better. We get some proof that we've met him and we've killed him. Just say there was no body left. Say Greg fireballed it.
So Krill was a bit confused. Ruffle, would you mind just stepping away for a moment?
Where are you congregating out of interest? Where
by that little hut, I think, in the middle. The hut.
I would have probably gone back to get my horse. So could we go back to the stables?
Okay.
Talk there.
So you take Ruffle back to the stables.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just asking for a minute for just us, just to talk frankly.
We can't, Krill. We can't ask Ruffle to just step away from us.
Yeah, he'll do a runner.
What?
We talk frankly around him. Either we say something that he doesn't like and he has to deal with it, or we say something that he doesn't like and he tries to do something about it. And if he tries to do something about it, he knows it's not going to end well.
Okay, that's fine then.
I know that you want the money, Krill.
It's less about that. Okay, it's partly about that. I'm confused how this story he's told us, how it changes our motivation to complete this task we've set out to complete.
Because we were led to believe that this man was a really, really dangerous criminal, and this man is basically a petty thief and a confidence trickster. He is sort of like a combination of myself and Daboff.
I was going to say, I've done worse than he's done.
Yeah, and there's the reason that there is such a large price being put on this man's head, because he offers the opportunity to topple the status quo of the ruling class in Neverwinter.
I mean, that's what he's told you.
It is what he's told me, yeah, you're correct, it's what he's told me. You just told me that you weren't entirely driven by money. That's what you told me.
And, yeah, fair. Yeah, fine.
I don't. It's not the right thing to take this man to Neverwinter to his death.
All right, fine. Yeah, let's do the staging the death one.
Right. So what could we? Right. You're a con man. You're a schemer. You're a trickster. You tell us.
I wouldn't agree.
Are you talking to Ruffle?
I'm talking to Ruffle. You tell us. Let's work together. Let's work this out.
It's weird because I thought you were talking to me because we never actually implied that our conversation ended, and then you started saying you.
Oh, Krill!
And I thought you meant me.
Krill,
you were actually still facing me, which was the weirdest part.
As far as I'm concerned, you can always assume that our conversation's ended.
I don't even know what that means. Carry on.
Come on then, Ruffle.
Well,
we can take something back to Neverwinter, because we are going to Neverwinter, and we either go with a plan.
How about his foot?
Didn't even go to finger, just went straight to foot. Brilliant.
Says a lot about his love life.
I do have.
I don't even know what that means either. You are talking in riddles, Tweezle.
Yeah. Well, I do have an idea. Would you allow me just to pop into the barn?
We can all go into the barn if you want.
Yeah, no, that works. I guess. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I was just going to go in myself, but that's fine. You can all come with me. Follow me. And he sort of walks past the party and walks into the barn. And you see him go to the back, and he sort of like just out of habit, he starts looking around to make sure no one is. Oh yeah, sorry, that's my bit nervous about this. And you see him sort of like go over to the very corner, and you see him sort of like push away some hay, and you see there's a couple of loose floorboards, and he lifts one up, and he goes rooting around in there, and he comes back and he says, "Well, that lady, I parted her from this," and it's he holds up a necklace. And it's got the initials LS on it.
Oh, it's mine.
That's definitely been in his personal pouch as well, hasn't it? Because he must have had that on him when he was incarcerated.
MJ will start wielding it as a weapon if it's covered in shit and found in the
in
barn.
all fairness, I thought it was going to be another hay shit.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's been in probably better condition. I mean, it has been under the floorboards of a stable as well. There's probably a bit of old shit on there as well. But anyway, I took this from the lady. It's yours if you want to use that as evidence.
I think so.
Yeah, makes sense as long as it's a unique necklace.
Yeah, I think so. I think all of his concubines have that. So, in honesty, this is where you ought to get it.
Right, and just remind me again, Roffle, who's the name of the geezer whose concubine it was? I don't know why I've started talking all a bit like...
It's like when a tradesman comes around and you suddenly stop acting middle class, yeah.
You're asking about the Lord Protector?
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Lord Loriger Swordhand.
That's a fancy name.
When he says this, Daboff, can you roll me a history at advantage?
17.
17. When he says this, at the back of your mind, you remember a name, Loriger Swordhand, being a political figure at Waterdeep.
Cool.
You don't remember too much about him, what his role was or anything like that. You were obviously on the streets at the time. You weren't too fast, but his name was big enough that it was something you would have heard, and you seem to recall hearing about him being disgraced.
Okay, I'll relay that to the group just as a, oh, do you mean this guy? And then I'll explain what you just said.
Yeah. I mean, I've had one interaction with a fella, and it's fair to say he's not loved in Neverwinter. So, to be honest, I've never heard the name anywhere else. It's not a particularly common name. Probably the same fella.
Okay.
Now, is that good enough? Are you happy for dear old Roffle to move on? I don't know where I'm going to go, but I'm happy to move on. If that is where you want me to go, I will go. I'll leave this lovely job. I'll find another stable somewhere else. Of course I will. Maybe I'll head south. I'm still a little bit close to Neverwinter where we are. Maybe I need to go south of here. Maybe I'll tread back the path that he done. Maybe I'll go down to Waterdeep or somewhere around there. What do you think?
Well, you could always stop in that tribe. We've got very good rapport with the people that live there. I'm sure one of them would give you a job.
Oh, Tribal. I've heard of Tribal, actually. A few horses down there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Tribal where we got the original mission to catch him?
It was, yeah.
Might not be a good idea.
Bounces him back.
Yeah, they don't know what it looks like as long as you use
no,
it
exactly.
And it was just that they'd heard that there was a bounty for a guy. It wasn't that they were particularly invested in it.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, that's up to him. He can go where he wants.
I'm going to head off to Tribal. That's absolutely fine. I'll do that. Are we all done?
Right, so we've got the necklace, got the story. He was killed in a battle with hobgoblins. Let's just retcon it that I was careful that no one kind of saw him after the battle.
How
We were walking
badly
over.
are the bugbear corpses burnt? Are they literally a pile of ash?
No, I think. Bearing in mind they're quite tall as well. Bugbears are probably around the 6 foot mark, and he's a dwarf. If that's what you're trying to, get to.
Yeah, I was just thinking if they were literally a pile of ash, we could maybe do it. But if they're still bones,
severely burned rather than
There's
being
goblin corpses.
Nah, it's wrong build.
and they're outside the castle gates.
Yeah, they're much taller.
Maybe we just find a... No.
Just say the stable.
find and kill a random dwarf.
Yeah.
Just find a graveyard. It'd be fine.
How very Game of Thrones of you.
No, I think the story and the evidence, and if we let Dweezil tell the story, then I've got big fat numbers for lying. So.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Go
that
back and
Toby
get
could say,
Daboff's body.
how they... Oh, yeah, get my old
Dabov's
body.
original body.
I was just thinking so we could then tell the town guards that your stable boy's dead, and they can corroborate the story if we need, if someone came to check.
Okay.
But, nah, that's fine. I think the necklace will be good enough.
Yeah.
Cool. For the second time today, then you head out of the stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on horseback or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you leaving a horse for him to ride out, or are you just letting him go on foot?
He's not taking Vin's horse, is he?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, because an
So
owl
the
definitely needs a horse.
The five of you start trotting out of the stable.
How does Vin ride the horse? How does he?
Well, what he does,
He's just sort of on top of it, but he's not really riding it.
yeah, exactly like that. But what he also does is both of his wings kind of wrap around the horse to get some extra grip.
Nice.
He hugs the horse.
Yeah, so it's like gripping the horse. So he might even grip the horses either side of him, with his wings, because that's a really sensible thing to do. Yeah. I call it the quinch method.
You start trotting off out, and Ruffle starts walking out of the barn, and he takes a few steps, and he's waving you off, and sort of thanking you, giving you a little prayer, thank you, and all that sort of stuff. And he's waving you off. Just at that moment, an arrow comes flying out, sticking between his Adam's apple.
Oof.
And Roflcopter falls to the ground just as you're looking down at him. All of you may roll me a perception.
15.
19.
18.
19.
9.
13.
13. Are any of you going to Ruffle?
I think I would, yes, because I've got my, my medic ability.
Okay.
So I think I would try to go back.
So Greg rushes to Ruffle.
Yeah.
And
Dabov would go with him. Seeing an arrow
Okay,
come out of nowhere, it doesn't seem sensible to let Greg go on his own.
who got the 19?
That was me.
Krill. Just as this happens, you can see the trajectory that the arrow would have taken and realise that this was not at ground level. This would have come from above. You look up.
Winch, you motherfucker. Yeah, go on.
You look up, and
No, the arrow hit.
You
Wasn't
see.
quinch.
You look up, and you see a young woman stood atop the walls with a bow and arrow. She looks down at you. She blows you a kiss, and she falls backwards off the other side of the wall.
Oh!
Was she human?
Just as that happens,
Assassin's Creed style.
Ruffle scrambles and grabs at Greg's robes, and he just looks you in the eye and he says, "Neverwinter deserves better," and he dies in your arms.
Thank you so much for listening to Dice and Desire. If you were...
Hello,
Quinch, what are you doing here?
I thought I'd help out with the promo.
No, Quint, no, come on. You're just going to talk about random place names that don't exist.
No, I wasn't. I was going to talk to you about my adventures in Valaquanth, the very best that the Tendering Meadows has to offer.
God, if you have to be here, at least read this out.
Okay, what have we got here? Leave us a review on Apple or Podchaser.
Oh, yeah, it was fine. It's pronounced Apple, but that was fine. Now read this bit.
You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Just search Dyson Desire.
I'm actually very surprised that was all pronounced correctly. Thanks, Quinch. Thank you guys for listening. Do exactly as Quinch said and help us out in those various ways. And we look forward to sharing another episode with you very soon.
Welcome to Roleplay Retcon Studios, located at the nexus of all alternate universes, including the sexy vampire ones.
Ooh.
At Roleplay Retcon, we remake famously disappointing movies using comedy, hindsight, and tabletop RPGs.
Like Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes, but specifically not Dungeons and Dragons. We take a second pass at guilty pleasures like Batman and Robin or Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and even some controversial favorites like Twilight.
But I love those movies.
We do too, and all of the movies we do have something to love. If they didn't, there would be nothing to reimagine. At the end of each series, we compare our vision to the original films, because why the not?
I can't wait to listen to Roleplay Retcon on nerdsmith.org or wherever you get podcasts.
I'm gonna listen to it before you do.